Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Real quick, let's do a audio check, video check. Let's make sure the audio and the video is coming in clearly. And we'll get started as soon as we verify. All right, so it looks like everything is good. Let's go ahead. We'll get started.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important...
Your show is scheduled to start in 15 seconds. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
So the Most High is going to stop the flowing of the people going into that country. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 51, the end of verse 44. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. Verse 45. My people, go ye out of the midst.
Hold up, read that again.
My people, go ye out of the midst.
I think within this chapter, he said flee and get out of her around 3-4 times. Right? Read.
My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Most High AHAYAH. And let your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor. And
wars and rumors of wars. You hearing about it, and because it's not happening, you think it's not going to happen. Read.
Verse 46, end of verse 46. And violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Verse 47. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of it. Then the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Most High AHAYAH. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so as Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still. Remember the Most High AHAYAH afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind.
Listen to this clear. Ye that have escaped the sword, that means you escape the destruction that's coming to Babylon, go away and stand not still. So when you leave, remember the power or the God AHAYAH afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. That's looking forward, not looking back. Now let Jerusalem come into your mind. She's finished. Right? Read.
Verse 51. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers are coming to the sanctuary of the Lord's house.
Strangers have destroyed us. Strangers have destroyed our sanctuary, our belief. They destroyed our understanding so that we cannot connect to our God. They've given us their gods. Baal, Satan, dragon, Moloch. These are the gods we've been worshiping ignorantly. Jesus, Zeus. Okay, we ain't know nobody named Jesus. Total madness. And then when we wake up and understand these things, we say, well, hold up. I'm a stranger here. You dragged me here. And the Most High starts reviving us. They be like, okay, we have one who's the extremist. You're a terrorist. Read on.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 52. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Most High AHAYAH, that I will do judgment upon her graven images.
He's going to destroy all your images and your idols. And man, if you even look at Washington, D.C., it's idol after idol, monuments of idols, obelisks, which is man's personal member. That's what an obelisk is. What's that, the Washington Monument? Idols every place. 5-pointed stars every place. But what if some did not believe? So what if you don't believe what we're teaching here? Paul asked, so what if some did not believe? Shall your unbelief make the faith of God without effect? You mean the Most High is going to stop his whole program because you don't believe something? No, you're dead. That's what you are. Okay? His program was before us. And it will be well after us. And that's for the people that's walking out there and say, well, there's wars all the time. There've always been these situations. Every few years this happens. Nothing is going to change. That's a dead man.
Shabbat Shalom, Barakatham, Watawada, peaceful Sabbath. Bless you all, and thank you for tuning in to another live stream of Friday Night Sabbath, coming out of Babylon, where we connect the dots of our reality and current events with the Word of God and Bible prophecy. All right, I'm your host, Brother Nelder Mark Rob. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, March 22nd, 2024. Forgot to mention we are here. We are here with the Gathering of Christ Church. All right, and here to discuss 2024 Passover review and the latest news. 2024 Passover review and the latest news. We'll get more of that here in a moment. But first and foremost, got to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Godhead, the AHAYAH, some may know as the Elohim. All right. The Hebrew name for the Father is AHAYAH. His Son in the Hebrew is YASHAYA, who some know as Jesus Christ. And the Holy Spirit is Rawak in the Hebrew. All right. And so we are here for another live stream, and definitely thankful for being here for another live stream. Also thankful for being here not only for another weekly Sabbath, but coming to the conclusion of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, Feast of Unleavened Bread. More on that here in a moment also. And I pray that you brothers and sisters out there are doing well today, this evening, this week. Those that have journeyed to the Passover, that your journey was safe. Okay, that you made it safely back to your, to your homes there, or to wherever your destination was, and returning. And a lot to talk about this evening, but we won't be here very long. We'll probably do about 2 hours. And really what we're looking to do for the first hour is anybody out there that has any Passover testimonies for the 2024 year. This year's Passover, which was in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you have a testimony, you see the guest call-in number there. Call in 515-605-9327. Press the number 1. We will take a few calls this evening, a few testimonies this evening, and then followed by that, we will do the latest news, going into some news and things that are happening and that have been going on here in recent days and weeks. All right. And so let me go ahead and just go through some announcements before we get started with our stream this evening. we are streaming live tonight on YouTube. Typically, we are on Twitch, so there may be people over there right now thinking that we're going to segue over to Twitch, but let them know we are on YouTube, youtube.com/GOCC Southwest is the channel name. You can search GOCC Southwest in the YouTube search bar. You can type that URL, youtube.com/GOCC Southwest, in your address bar of any browser. You can use the YouTube app. You also have the link in the description box below this video where you can click on that and it takes you to this stream. All right. Of course, I gave out the Blog Talk number. It's below me here on the screen for those that can see. If you'd like to call in and give your testimony for this year's Passover, we will go to the call lines here momentarily for that. And we have typically our streams are on Twitch because of the things we discuss. Typically, we can't talk about those things here on this platform, so we usually transition over to Twitch. But I believe for this live stream, we probably will be okay with what we're going to discuss, what we'll be talking about. And so we're here. And but twitch.tv/GOCC Southwest, we are there usually every other week for Friday Night Sabbath coming out of Babylon. All right, so make sure you take that down. It is in the description of this channel for the Twitch if you want to click there and check it out for those who are not familiar. All right, we also have our backup channel. Okay, our backup channel where all of the backup content is stored. All right, our archived previous live streams on Odyssey, odyssey.com/GOCC Southwest. That is also in the description of this YouTube channel. All right, so all of that is here on our YouTube channel. The different ways that you can follow along. We also do our GOCC Fit, all things health, fitness, and nutrition related once a month. And more on GOCC Fit. Definitely have some very exciting things happening and coming down the line when it comes to the things in regards to the health aspect for the Gathering of Christ Church and really focusing in on things when it comes to our health and well-being. All right, so stay tuned. We will get there. But the GOCC media is where you can tune in to, check out the latest when it comes to the GOCC Fit, health, fitness, and nutrition related content. We also have other content there, other live streaming from leaders in the church, as well as uploaded content that comes up from time to time. So make sure you're subscribed there also. All right. The Gathering of Christ Church website is gatheringofchrist.org. And I believe, let me pull it up here. I was watching the Patreon earlier with Elder Lawyer, and I believe that the website has been updated. Let me see here. Yes, it looks like it is changed and looks different. Let me let you all check this out here. We'll look at it together real time. All right, you see this here. So definitely a different look, but very similar, a lot more clean, streamlined. All right, so this is the church website. All right, you see the academy here. We'll talk about that here in a moment. The Hebrew calendar. Okay, if you would like to get the new Hebrew calendar, you can order that here. You also have the under the church drop-down menu here. You have all the different things in regards to the church, about us, core doctrine, media. You have the community, the business network or the GOCC network here. merchandise store. All right. A lot of different things here. I have yet to really go through all of this and check it out because it has updated. Okay, you see here the church mission. Okay. What the church mission is. Okay, as well as the elders there. And then also the Hebrew and Bible Academy. I believe the next academy starts up. You're looking at toward the middle to latter part of April. I don't have the exact date. Let me see if we go over here, if the date's up already. I'll click here. Okay, yeah, the date isn't up here yet, but it is coming in April. So be on the lookout. If you would like to find out more or enroll, you can come here through the gatheringofchrist.org website, or you can simply just type in historytimes.org and it'll take you straight here to the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Okay. You also have the church main YouTube channel. Let me see if it's on here too. Don't know if you can get to the YouTube channel, but nonetheless, it is youtube.com/agathering144. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll just go here real quick. Make sure you're subscribed to the main church channel so you can get all the Sabbath lessons as well as the Wednesday broadcast. You have the Friday pre-Patreons. You have other random days where live content may come up, or we may have videos that we upload here. All right, so make sure you're subscribed here. We also have the backup channel. Make sure you go to GOCC NYC. All right, GOCC NYC is the backup channel for the Gathering of Christ Church. All right. And I believe that is all for the announcements as far as the normal announcements we go through. All right. So let us now go ahead into the 2024 Passover review and the latest news, which we're going to deal with for this live stream tonight. All right. And man, a lot has happened in the past week. Of course, everyone knows we have just finished celebrating the Passover in Charlotte, North Carolina, this past weekend. And here I have my my Passover 2024 Charlotte T-shirt on, and it was a sister there that gave this to me, so I don't recall if I got her name, but definitely a shout out to that sister and Thawada for the T-shirt. All right, and yeah, definitely a very beautiful and powerful Passover. You know, man, what an experience, and you know, we'll get to that here in a moment. But I just wanted to circle back around to the, you know, when it comes to the church, we have an upcoming event in Augusta, Georgia, in June, right? And it's going to be a concert on a Saturday, and then you're going to have on Friday a health symposium. Okay, a health symposium, a health initiative that the church is launching for that weekend. So definitely very excited to be part of that and to start to build the community as far as on the health side when it comes to doctors, nurses, health professionals who are certified, licensed, have degrees, midwives, all those things where we can come together in our community and have when it comes to our health and have our health people that are for the well-being of our community in position to help us out as we go into some very, very trying times and, transitioning, pre-wilderness. And we're gonna need it because we're not going to have access to the grid without those who receive the mark. Okay. So once the mark has been instituted, we will no longer have access to what we see today with the medical industry, okay, hospitals and the doctors that are affiliated within that industry we no longer have access to that. So there's a whole lot that comes, coming with that. So just wanted to just briefly mention that to everyone here. I'm looking forward to that. So basically here on Friday nights we typically like to. We do go into some news, but we've been really going into, really in-depth lessons on history and prophecy. And so here of late, we've been dealing with the connection of, Judaism and, Freemasonry, as well as Amalek. We've been dealing with that history and prophecy in great detail here lately. And so we will pick back up on that, but for right now, with so much going on for the next few weeks, we may just come on and just there's a lot of news that's happening, and we want to make sure that everybody is up to date with some very important news. Very, very prophetic and powerful year this year, 2024, and sometimes we may not necessarily be able to hit some of those important news topics because we have been going into history to show, how do we get to where we are now to explain our reality. All right. Because a lot of the things that are happening now were written, ages ago, generations ago, centuries ago. And so understanding that history, as well as understanding the biblical prophecies and reading them, we're able to connect the dots to make sense of our reality right now. All right. And so, in the meantime, while we, because there's a lot of work that goes into, studying and bringing that information out. And with so many things happening right now, very, very challenging times with so many things going on, and just coming back from Charlotte and traveling and, being tired and trying to get back on schedule and routine. It's not easy to just, have the time to dedicate to bringing out, getting the information to bring it out. So, but nonetheless, we definitely have the opportunity to do other things. Like tonight, we want to hear from you, brothers and sisters, to call in, to blog talk, to give your Passover testimonies. All right. And we'll do that for about an hour, and then from there, we'll transition over to some of the latest news, very, very important things happening right now in our reality that we must pay attention to and understand what's going on so that we're not caught unawares. Okay. We're not caught off guard. We're not caught asleep, and we're watching and praying and looking at these things, because at any moment things could go down, and we want to make sure that we are prepared in all forms of preparedness, mind, body, and soul, mentally prepared, spiritually prepared, physically prepared, emotionally prepared. All right. And so definitely very, very important news to talk about as we transition into the second hour. So we'll probably try to go about 2 hours tonight. Still, we are in the midst of finishing the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So, big gathering tomorrow, and a lot of work still yet to be done to get prepared for that too. So that'll, ending at about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll allow opportunity for not only myself, but also you brothers and sisters out there who maybe have preparations and things that you must prepare for as well to get prepared for. All right, so just giving you a layout. So next recent weeks, probably making sure that we really stay focused on a lot of the news things that are happening right now. And then we'll start to pick back up with where we left off, our last live stream, the age of worshiping man above God, and going down that rabbit hole, continuing to go down that rabbit hole of how do we get to a place in our time, in this time of history, to where now God has pretty much been moved out of the way, and now the worship of man has superseded the worship of God, and to where now man in all his accomplishments and technologies are being worshiped and looked to, and what God has, everything that he has ordained from the beginning of time has now been moved out of the way, including him. All right, no more worshiping him. And even tonight, and some of the things we're going to talk about is going to go into some of those things too, right? With some of the news we're going to talk about. All right. But before we open up the lines and go to you brothers and sisters, I know that, some of you may have some powerful testimonies or just your Passover experience. You want to share what this year's Passover has meant to you and, share some of your thoughts on it. I'll share mine first, just so brothers and sisters can know just what all has happened so much in such a short span, such a short window of time. So much has happened. So, and of course, I'm going to give you all the short story. So there's a lot of things that happen that won't be discussed. But for me personally, I traveled to the, Passover here from Texas, and I left Thursday morning flying through American Airlines, and, going through the airport. You get to TSA, of course, they go through all your things and want to check you, get screened and all of that. Well, before I could even reach the line, I'm looking to get myself prepared. I'm actually about to give my, my passport and my boarding pass to the TSA agent before I get to the screening section. And my phone is ringing. And for those who may know, Bishop Azan, who is over the Dallas GOCC congregation, he's calling my phone. So, I'm thinking, he's probably just calling to check on things, see how everything is going. And I said, okay, well, I'm about to go through TSA, so I can't talk anyways. Once I get to the other side, I'll give him a call back. But then it kept ringing. My phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. So I'm like, okay, maybe something's going on. Maybe he needs help with something, or maybe, he needs something needs to be addressed. So I finally make it through the TSA screening. And as soon as I get settled, I give him a call back, and he tells me that a brother in the church had passed away not too long ago, that morning. A brother by the name of John Crawford in the Dallas church. And just to kind of give everyone a brief history of John Crawford, I came back to the States at the end of 2018. So that's when I first met John Crawford. He was in the church at the time when I came back, and, I had developed a relationship with him through time. And actually, his wife is a realtor, and the actual house that I live in now, she actually found this particular residential area because it was 2021. So we're coming, fresh out of the lockdown. We're coming at the tail end of it. Things are still chaotic. Things are, the supply is crazy. Or actually, the supply is low, but the demand is high. Remember, they shut a lot of work down, a lot of jobs and stuff. So the supply chain isn't really moving. And so you have shortage on lumber, you have shortage on cement, you have a shortage on materials and resources. So, and on top of that, you have, people who have maybe homes that have been lived in before. And but there's a lot of people that want to buy homes. So with this influx of people trying to buy homes, because interest rates are very, very low at the time, and very, very low houses being made, houses are starting to, get picked back up with people starting to work again to make houses. So it's very, very competitive. So buying a house at the time was very hard. You're talking about a used home. You had a lot of people coming in to Texas from New York and California and other states where the economy is high, very, very high cost of living, and coming into Texas where the cost of living is more, is lower. And so they have, a $300,000 house here would be, a $1 million house or plus in other states. So they could sell their house there and come here, and they have a lot of money to spend for a home, and they could spend $50,000 to $100,000 up front in bidding. So it became bidding wars. It was all about, okay, how much are you willing to bid up front on the house? So basically, you're spending more money on a house than what it's worth. And of course, me, I don't have $50,000 to $100,000 to just drop up front for bidding on a house outside of also still having to buy the house for its regular price. And so you're being outbidded for homes. So she ended up finding a place, the place I'm at now, where they're building new homes. And for new homes, you don't have to bid. It's just first come, first serve. If you have earnest money, you put your earnest money down, and then you can buy a house. All right. So, so I was able to do just that through her help. Okay. And so working with both of them, because he was on the actual financing side of things, he actually was looking to help me get qualified for a loan to buy the home. All right. Didn't end up going through him on the financing side, but nonetheless, she was the one that worked with me through the whole process of actually getting the house and making sure everything was good and through, from beginning to end. So, but this was a brother that good report in the church, very good brother, and so he passed. He had been fighting some health issues, and it was just his time to go. So that's how the Passover started for me. All right. So, and there's a lot of things going on. So, from me getting to the front of to get on, on the board the plane. I'm got my boarding pass out. I'm trying to scan in like, oh, your seats changed. We need to print you a whole new boarding pass. So I end up getting separated from my family, not sitting together, and giving a new boarding pass and a different seat. So that already irritations are starting to rise. Okay. So then upon getting to Charlotte, the airport there, I'm looking for my luggage and trying to figure out where to go. And we, get to the luggage claim area, and there is no identification for our flight of which luggage claim area is ours. So, just like what's going on. And so eventually just make our way over to American airline desk to see what's going on. Where is our baggage claim? We're not finding it. And this is maybe 30, 45 minutes after waiting around. They're like, well, let me take a look. What's your name? So I give my information, and they come back around the counter with one of my bags. Like, oh, here's your bag. Okay, so it looks like the claim the baggage had already been rolling for a time, because it was a long walk to get to where the claim was. And I guess by that time they had already started taking the luggage off the rack, off the belt, and putting it up for claims. So I said, wait a minute. This is only one of my bags. It was my small bag, my carry-on, which they checked for free when I checked in at my when I left at the previous airport. I said, my checked bag is not here. I have another bag. So the guy goes back. He goes to his computer and he's looking and he says, your bag is coming on the next flight. All right. So I believe we landed at 2. The next flight doesn't land till 4:30. Now, mind you, I don't know if you brothers and sisters have seen, but it's up on the A Gathering 144 Thursday night. There was a leadership meeting where those in leadership came together and we met up and ate and fellowshipped. It's up on the YouTube channel for the church for those who want to see a portion of it. So that was supposed to start at 6. Well, here it is. My bag won't be here till 4:30. That's if it comes, because at this point, I don't know if my bag is maybe even lost, but they're saying it's on the previous flight. So I'm trying to, keep my composure contained. At this point, I'm getting very upset with just how things are going with this airline. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, what I want to do here. So I said, you know what, and mind you, all of my stuff is on the big bag, all of my clothes for the whole weekend, everything I need to get ready. So, and this is a business casual event Thursday evening. So I can't just show up in what I'm wearing because I'm wearing very, very casual clothes, comfortable clothes. So drove to the hotel 30 minutes away, had to drive back. Another 30 minutes. It's rush hour traffic. So now traffic is picking up. It's bumper to bumper in certain areas. Had to pay for airport parking. Well, fortunately, my brother and his family were flying in on the flight after us. So I was able to reach him and he did secure my luggage. So at least, okay, I have my luggage. I told him just to hold it there. I'll be there in a minute to grab it from you. So get back to the airport, get my luggage. And so now I have to travel back to the hotel. And really what it did was put me 2 hours behind schedule. So with the leadership meeting starting at 6, which, mind you, I've been waiting for an event like this since, 2019's first Passover. We talked about having the leaders get together on a Thursday night, because really what it comes down to, family, is us as leaders. It's very rare that we're all together in the same place at once. Most of us, we may see each other here and there, but it's never a whole group, the whole group of us there. So this is an opportunity for us to come together, continue to build the leadership of the church, to bond. So Satan doesn't want that. Okay. Satan doesn't want strong leadership. He wants to do everything he can to keep the leaders from coming together and being solidified and unified in the spirit to be able to guide the Most High's flock, right? So I'll get there 2 hours late. So it's 8 o'clock. It only lasts till 9:30, and I hadn't ate all day, right? On top of, to make matters worse. So I get there. There's not really any food there. It's all been pretty much eaten up, and so that just adds to the frustration of being hangry. Hungry and angry at the same time, right? So I'm trying to just, again, keep my composure. I see the devil operating in his signature, the whole time and trying to, it's a joyous time of the year and doing everything he can to disturb that spirit so that you come in and you can't be there to partake in the joy and the blessed spirit that's there during Passover. Right. So fast forwarding, I had some other issues at the hotel, just things that the devil does, that just darts he throws that just irritates you, just some bad customer service experience at the hotel I was at. Fast forward to toward the end of the trip, had a bad experience with the person I was renting my car from as I returning the car to get ready for my flight. And I had a during the trip, I'm getting calls and texts from my Bank of America, that credit card fraud on one of my credit cards. Now, mind you, the week before the trip, I had credit card fraud on another card. So now I'm scrambling around trying to, make payments and totally out of my, spending element from how I typically spend because of, these inconveniences. So this is happening. I'm hearing other brothers talk about, hardships they've experienced. I think it was Elder REI. He was talking about a tornado and hailstorm hit his land, and all his windows in his house were broken out from this storm. So we're all kind of sharing our experiences the whole time being attacked during this Passover. So so coming back on the plane, American Airlines, get on the plane to come back. We're loading, and as soon as we get loaded on the plane, over the announcement speaker, the pilot says, unfortunately, I had to make an announcement that it's going to be an hour and a half delay before we can take flight because the maintenance crew is switching shifts, and there's a part on the plane that needs to be checked and signed off on by the next shift before we can take off. So everybody on the plane is upset because it's like, why would you make us get on this plane in these cramped quarters where we could have just been inside the airport, stretched out, you got restrooms, you got food, all that. They wait till we get on the plane to tell us, oh, by the way, it's going to be an hour to an hour and a half delay, right? So not only are we going to be cramped on the plane, but an hour and a half later to get back home. Now, mind you, this is 12 o'clock at night. This is it's about 11 o'clock at night when this is going on. So finally, we take off, get back. Worst American Airlines experience I've ever had in the 15 plus years I've flown American Airlines. I had to walk real far to get to our luggage claims on the way back because they had blocked off the exits right in front of the luggage claim for whatever reason. And I'm just like, man, it seems like someone's trolling at this point. It just seems like you're being trolled with all of this. And so you're trying to keep a good spirit without being, complaining or murmuring and all these things. Get home, very, very bad headache, probably the worst headache I can remember ever having from just dealing with everything. Don't typically get a lot of rest during the weekend because so much is happening. And so, lack of sleep, lack of diet, feeling really very weak. So then the next morning I wake up and get a call, and the call comes in from, again, Bishop Azan, same Bishop Azan who called at the beginning of the trip, now calling at the end of the trip to tell me that Brother Cedric Calloway has now passed away in the church, who actually was at the Passover, saw him Saturday. We actually took pictures, and so now he has passed, right? And so just very peculiar timing for, two brothers in the Dallas body, two very loved brothers, and passing over during Passover, beginning and end. And so, getting back and having to immediately go into working out details for two funerals, and two widows, being there to make sure that they're good in this time. So I looking back throughout the whole Passover, and just a Passover of the ages of good and the unfortunate and the trials, and like saying to myself, man, Most High must be getting us prepared and ready with all of these things happening and juggling all of this stuff so that we can know, the tribulation and getting ready for being, inconvenienced and being discomforted, right? And knowing what that feels like, and being able to persevere and to keep a good spirit and to not complain and to be thankful and to feel blessed through it all. And so just to kind of also give insight as to why for the next few weeks, why the broadcast will be a little different, but still we will look to have them, Most High willing. As John Crawford's funeral will be next Friday. So probably a big chunk of that day for me will be spent there. So, a lot of energy expended, and then, coming here Friday evening to broadcast, looking to, again, try to, go through some news, some very important current events that are happening for you all, but won't have the energy, the time to research, to study, to bring out the typical broadcast that we have. And then the following week after that, we will have Brother Cedric's funeral as well. And that's just Dallas, of course. For those that know me, regional elder over 8 churches, from, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. So a lot of churches, a lot of people, a lot of issues that happen. And that doesn't even include personal life problems, right? Or things that are happening that need to get done. So that's my testimony. And, all praise to the Most High, made it back safe, enjoyed it. It was a very blessed occasion. I know I didn't get a chance to, I wanted to be able to see more people. So for those who I didn't get a chance to converse with this Passover, Most High willing, next time, or maybe in June when we come together for that, get a chance to talk and meet. For those who I haven't met, for those who I do know and didn't get a chance to talk to, take pictures with, or whatever the case is, looking forward to the next time. But definitely blessed to see a lot of old faces, some faces from the past that haven't been around that have come back. Definitely glad to see those. Just the whole Passover, what I could say is, man, it was one of the most efficient Passovers as far as the way the church organized it. So I got to give a shout out to the administration, the administrators, and the work that they did to organize it the way that they did, having the bracelets given before getting there took, I think, a huge burden and a lot of time, very efficient on time, so that you could come and, enjoy Vendors Day more. You see what I'm saying? And so the play, 30 minutes, it was quality. It was great. We had performances on Friday night, performances on Saturday night. So the performances were split up. So it was just the right amount of everything. It wasn't overkill or too much to where, going through the weekend, you're very tired from lack of sleep and travel and just trying to make it through the weekend. So I think it was just the right amount of everything. And so, again, shout out to the elders, the leaders, the administrators, the wives of the elders, the leaders, and of course, all the brothers and sisters who were there in attendance to make it what it was, to bring your energy, your positive vibes, your spirit, your excitement, all of that. And, really ultimately through it all, I look at, the Most High bringing us together and drawing us closer as we get closer to the end, because, as we go through these trials, we're going to need each other. We're going to need to be able to, have that familiarity so that we can endure when everything doesn't go right, when offenses happen. Maybe somebody's offended or upset about something, that we can work through it, because everything's not going to go right. Right. Sometimes offenses happen intentionally. Sometimes offenses happen unintentionally. So by us coming together as a family, that we can love each other and fight through all of the adversity together. You see what I'm saying? And come together in the Spirit of Christ. So I think, and we can't just do it on Passover. It's easy to do it in an event like that because it's a once in a year occasion and everybody's bringing their best. Right. But we got to do that every day, 364 days of the year, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday and the Sabbaths, the high holy days, every day. Okay. When we're not feeling our best. Okay. When we're being tried and challenged and people are passing away, right. Being there for one another. Like, this is all what this means for us to make it. All right. All this happening is what it means to be able to get that experience, to be able to endure the harder things that are coming and on the horizon. All right. So I'm sure I could go on and on and on. I could talk more, but I want to open it up now. If anybody out there has a testimony or you would like to share your Passover experience, okay, you see the guest call the number there on your screen, 515-605-9327. Just simply press 1. All right, go ahead and call in, and I will take your calls. Right now, we don't have any callers in the queue. So first come, first serve. First person to pop in is the first person that's going to be up to speak. We're not going to be able to take too many people because I still want to be able to talk about the news. Okay, but just also continue to, appreciate the Passover high and the experience and the reminiscing on this past weekend, and also using it as fuel, as inspiration and motivation as we continue throughout this year, which I believe is going to be a very, very trying year that's going to set the stage for 2025 and what so many of the the powers that be, the dark forces that are working throughout all of the centuries have worked to hit this 2025 place in time, which is the midpoint of the decade up to the 2030 time period, which we've discussed at length, the 2030 agenda. Okay, so it's the midpoint, it's the checkpoint. So 2020 started with the lockdown, 2025 being the midpoint. What is in store for 2025 and what is going to happen in 2024 that's going to lead us to potentially very big events in 2025? Will there be very, very big events this year before 2025 even gets started? I believe as we transition into the news, part of tonight's live stream, very, very, prophetic and biblical proportion events happening right now that some of you probably are aware of a lot of these things, but maybe not. All right. So let me go ahead over here to the call lines. I see a couple callers here. Again, you have your guest call in number here on your screen. Call in. Now's the time to call in. If you would like to speak, we're going to take some Passover testimonies. Also, share your Passover experience. And let me go ahead over here to the 314 area code. 314, Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder. How are you this evening?
Shabbat Shalom. I'm doing well and blessed. How are you?
Oh, man, I tell you, I'm still a little bit on a high.
Oh, yeah.
From the Passover. It was so amazing. And I'm not going to stay long, but I tell you, this is Mawara in Dallas. I'm pretty sure you know who I am. But
yes, ma'am.
I tell you, one of the things that was so amazing this time that I'd never seen before, and it was such an elegant and royal touch, is when we were coming to the doors for the Passover day. First of all, we had all the brothers and sisters there who were, going to check everything, the security checks and everything. But they were, hey, Shabbat Shalom, everything like that. It was very, very festive and everything. But when we came through, there was this long corridor, and it was lined on both sides with just, very well-dressed, in-order brothers. And it was just like you were walking down through this, corridor, and it was, that's the daughter of Zion right there. Shabbat Shalom, happy Passover. It just made you feel like you were literally walking into the kingdom. It was so beautiful. It was almost overwhelming, just the outpouring of love that you felt before you even got to, into the venue.
Right.
That was such an elegant touch. I don't know who set that up. But it was probably maybe 30 brothers on each side lined up. And they were just, had all the wonderful compliments and they just made you feel royal from the moment you stepped to the door to, walking through. So that was truly a highlight. I thought that was just such a wonderful and beautiful touch. But you were absolutely correct. Satan was busy. When we got here, we had the whole kerfuffle with the getting the rental car. Was the worst experience I've ever had. Then we are all getting into the hotels, and we're getting hit with these per diem charges I've always had at the hotel, incidentals or whatever, but it would be one like kind of amount. They were charging it up front per day. Okay. I'd never seen or heard of that before. So it was just like, an added expense that people weren't, kind of got sideswiped with, myself included. We weren't expecting that. So, it was just all those things. And I just thank the Most High that I kind of was able to stay pretty calm. For most of it, I didn't get too out of character because we were representing Christ at his castle. So, you never know who was looking, but of course the Most High is. So, so there were definitely some struggles and challenges throughout, but it was truly worth it. It was a blessed event. So I'm just looking forward to, if the Most High allows us to have another one next year, that would be excellent.
Absolutely. And so and I did get your drinks that you gave. Now, I will have to say that I blessed somebody else with those Deacon Azaniah. I let him have those because I wasn't able to travel with them because I hadn't got to him by the time it was time for me to fly out. So maybe he can tell you how they were. So I blessed him with those drinks, but I did get them. So I just want to let you know.
Well, praise the Most High, because I got a chance to talk with your lovely bride, and we got a chance to, fellowship a little bit. So that was really nice. I saw you at a distance, but of course, I never got around to speaking with you. But it's okay. It was, hey, whoever enjoy them. Oh
yeah. As long as somebody got blessed, then that's what matters. So I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely also appreciate you calling in and sharing your testimony and your experience. And hey, regardless of next year of where we're at, we're gonna turn up no matter if we whatever the situation or circumstance are, we're gonna turn up for the Most High regardless. So,
Tom. Well, praise the Most High, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say.
All right, with the water,
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, let me go over to the next caller here. We got one more caller. So again, if you would like to speak after this caller, we have no one. You'll be up next. We'll take a few testimonies before we go into the news and try to get wrapped up by about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with the testimonies and the news information we're going to go into. All right. So let's go over to the 216 area code. 216. Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Elder.
Hey, Mr.
Shalom, Elder.
It's the Sax Man. Shabbat Shalom.
How's it going, man?
Oh, hey.
There's something just to talk to you, but come over there and give you a hug and say, hey, what's happening, man?
Oh yeah. I seen you. You were busy. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I did. Definitely saw you doing your thing. Y'all got down. That band was, boy, y'all were tearing it up.
We was working on that for like 6 months, man.
Man,
we was reading sheets, like we was in the studio, man, reading music, and playing and stuff. And it was like, it's like I said the other day, man. When we struck up that song, man, it's like Holy Spirit dropped down big time, like a hammer in there, man.
Yeah.
It was on then. It's like we on a one-way train and we flying, man. And it was so beautiful to feel that,
Yes.
And the people so happy and stuff like that. And, it's just one thing. When we were playing and stuff, and it was like for the supper and stuff, I got one swallow of food, then I got to get on the stage.
Right. Oh yeah. Y'all working. Y'all working hard.
Yeah, we was working hard. We was having some fun up there with the guys in there, Mike and Torrance and all those guys. I love them guys, man. They really nice people to work with, and we got along. We practiced like when we got there, and I got out of the car, I went over there, man, and practiced like 6-7 hours. And the next day, I practiced like 12, 14 hours in a row, man. Then we went there again on Saturday. We went there and practiced. So we practiced, man, like almost a day.
Yeah.
So we was in it. You know, I like the one that show that young man born from Levi he made yesterday. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
on this show there for the GOC.
Oh yeah.
But all of y'all do a great job, man. You know, the elder started off Tuesday, then the elder retired, and then born in Levi, and then you, and then then top it off the academy, man. It was nice to see Elder Shabbat too. I got to talk to him and laugh. I was told him, I said, you the Walter Cronkite of GOCC. He started laughing at me. I said, keep on bringing it, man. You know, I could see him and Elder Lloyd when we was playing the horn section. I could see him. They was enjoying themselves, and you was too.
Oh yeah.
It's different when you got a horn section. It's different. We give Earth, Wind, and Fire a run for their money. We had 17. They didn't have 17 musicians.
Man, yeah, y'all.
You know,
man,
but yeah,
y'all were tearing it up. And I appreciate it.
That's how we got to keep it like that.
Yeah, because I appreciate it for us to be able to just be able to sit back and just enjoy the melody and the performance. We could just sit back and just soak it all up and just man, just it's beautiful. All that time y'all spent hard work. And yeah, June, definitely. I looking forward to see what y'all got in store for us.
Yeah, we worked all year really. We really started working like 6 months before the Passover. Yeah, we got together. We put it all together. You know, just like a well-knit oiled machine. You know, I'm sure the reason why they got mad because they want to give a copyright strike because they know they can't do what we did. We did it live.
Oh yeah,
not in the studio. We did it live.
Hey, the devil was hating all weekend. He was hating all weekend, but didn't stop anything.
He's trying to stop me from coming to the Passover.
Yeah, I heard you.
Told me stop practicing. I had cramps all through my body.
Yeah, I heard you Wednesday night.
I went to the doctor and they said they took it. Yeah, man. I know that's the Most High God. He just rewarded me by being faithful and didn't give up. Just went down there and did what I had to do. Yeah, that was him. Just stay faithful. That's all I say. Just stay faithful and do the course because it's gonna get rougher. It's gonna get rougher. I can see it.
Well, all praises.
Talking to me about the election. I said, "You sure it's gonna be an election?" I don't know.
Right. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
Right.
You gotta take one day at a time and act like Christ coming back the next day. That's how I take it. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Tomorrow got his own trouble. He said it better than me, Christ.
Well, hey, all praises. Glad y'all
I'm gonna let you go, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all.
It was nice to see y'all, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all were able to do y'all's thing, and good seeing you. And I look forward to seeing you. If I don't see you before June, I look forward to seeing you there.
You see me in June, okay, brother?
Yes, sir. Shabbat shalom.
Barakatah. Shabbat shalom.
All right, let's go to the next caller. We got the 216, another from the 216 area code. Shabbat shalom. You're live.
Hey, Shabbat shalom, Elder. Glad to see you made it back to Texas safely, based on everything you said was going on.
Oh yeah. Hey, all praises to the Most High. Hey, you made it back. You were there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll give a little bit of a different, kind of on the heels of Brother Allen that just called in, and even like the sister and you talked about the trials. I was having all kind of major issues prior to the Passover, a lot of stuff going on in the personal life. And so the Passover actually was the opposite. It was the smoothest, best experience I had going to Passover. I was renting a minivan because I do some vending. And then I go to get my minivan. They say, well, the minivan isn't ready. So they upgraded me to a Grand Wagoneer, top of the line, $116,000 vehicle, massaging seats and all kind of things like that, running boards that flip down when you walk up to it and so forth. So the guy, I was just having a casual conversation. He's like, you know what, man, the car isn't ready. How about I just give you this? Do you want that? I'm like, yes, sir. So we had an 8-hour ride. So versus the minivan, it was like I was floating on pillows, getting a massage with heated seats, going all the way down. Then, I do the vending, but I'm part of the network, but I'm not like a real business person. I'm part of the network because I sell things to our local body. So the vending for me serves two purposes. One, it just helps offset the cost of Passover. And two, I get to stand in one spot and up to 3,500 people just walk by me, and I get to talk to them. Shabbat Shalom, where you from? So forth, so on. So this year ended up happening. Usually we sell some stuff, it's enough to always pay for the table. But this year we sold everything we had. Like we sold pretty much everything. So it was like, again, from serious trials, prior to leaving that I've been dealing with, to then, go to get a car, and then you get an upgrade, and then you go down, and then the vending, goes even better than, you would have ever expected. Then after that, I have the pleasure of serving. It's an honor to serve. So, and shout out to Deacon Shawan, and to all of the brothers and sisters, that were there, that were serving in any capacity, even those that were in the choir, because they put in a lot of work as well, getting ready, for that. But that being said, so I had the opportunity to serve, which was amazing. And as the sister talked about with the corridor thing, Officer Leonard in New York, Officer Leonard and Brother Tazabah out there with you in Texas, they were the ones that came up with that whole corridor thing. They had brothers lined up, and they were like, how can we do this? They were the ones that actually came up with getting everybody lined up, throwing the brothers in the middle, having everybody greet everybody, and so forth. And so it was just refreshing. That's why I called in. When I heard the sister say, it was beautiful how they did that and how did they set up, it was totally in the spirit. Officer Leonard and Brother Tazabah just came up with that off the cuff, and it went off like a hitch. And then, like I said, it was just a wonderful experience for me. And then here's the crazy part. I said I had all of the trials before I left, went down there. Everything was wonderful, went beautiful, better than expected. Driving back up to Cleveland, and 70 degrees when I left Charlotte. Temperature said 29 degrees when I pulled into Cleveland, and I drove into a blizzard. So the tribulation came back and was waiting for me when I came back home. But Passover, man, what a great reprieve, and a great couple of days to be with the body, the Most High, the Holy Spirit, and to just step away from what was happening. And like I said, a total 180 from the luggage issues you had and so forth. It was amazing, and looking forward to next year as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, definitely the water for calling in and sharing that with us here this evening. And may the Most High bless your Sabbath and the rest of your Feast of Unleavened Bread.
You as well. AHAYAH Barakadam to all of the family out there. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And yeah, that's another thing, is that it was so much support. I mean, everybody was selling out of all their stuff. Like, if you didn't make it there early for Vendors Day, and by the time you get around to the table, it's all gone, right? So it's good to see us supporting one another, and that's what's lacking in our community, is that, in-house spending amongst one another and keeping the money within our community, right? And that's what they don't want. They don't want us spending amongst each other. They don't want us offering products and services that are ours. They want us working for, what they got, and being servants to them versus being masters over our own stuff, right? So this is the beginning of what we had in the past. You had Timbuktu, you had Black Wall Street. So this is it. We're getting it back, and this is pre-wilderness. We're getting everything, our gifts, our talents, getting them ready. Pre-wilderness, we got to get ready so we can sustain, right? And yeah, the brother said before the Passover, it was going down. And I noticed it too, because the actual car that I originally booked, I went through an app where you can book cars, and that car ended up getting in a wreck like a week before Passover. So I wasn't able to use that car. I had to rebook another car. So even before Passover, all the devil's trying to do all these different things, trying to stop, right? Trying to stop you from getting there, and try to discourage you the whole time. So just weird, a lot of weird, bizarre stuff going on that you can only look at through spiritual eyes and understand the spiritual significance of all these things, right? So let's go to our next caller. We have the 347 area code. 347 area. Shabbat Shalom. You're live.
Hello.
Shabbat Shalom. You're live.
Shabbat, can you hear me?
Yes, hear you loud and clear.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
Good. I just wanted to share my experience because this was my first Passover. So I went with me and my two younger kids. I have a 13-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. And this was our first time going, and it was so amazing. Entire building from when we pulled up, it was just so amazing how I felt like royalty walking in with just everyone greeting me and feeling so welcoming when I came in. My kids were so amazed. Like, this is also something new to them as well. So they were able to meet like so many young children that was there, and to be able to sit with our body was a good thing. So we were surrounded by people that we already knew. I was a little nervous about that because I wasn't sure if they were going to because I'd never been before. I didn't know if they were going to switch it up and sit us with different congregations to get to know each other. But it felt so good to just, as soon as I'm walking up, everybody's like, hi, remembering me from the body, and just sitting with my body was just a good feeling as well. The play, it sparked so many questions for my kids, which I really, really appreciated, because I still am having trouble with introducing this lifestyle to them and just getting them to love and be in the truth wholeheartedly. So them seeing so many people just loving this walk, and the vibe was good, and they were feeling that and understanding that it's not just us alone, or not even just our church, it's all over the world. And them seeing that, and also them seeing the play, it made them question about who is that, and what are they acting out, and what are they speaking about, and so it was really good because my kids were able to to just talk to me more about it. So when we went back to our room, and we were settling down for the night, we were just having so much conversation. We didn't go to sleep until 1, 2 in the morning, because we were just talking about the Most High and talking about the Passover and talking about the play, and just having so much conversation about it. And it just felt so good because I talked to my kids a lot about the Most High, and of course we pray, and when after services, we talk about the services, and I ask them what they know and what they learned and what did they feel when our deacon was speaking. But that was just a full night full of conversation, and it just felt so good. The vibe was so good, even from people that I didn't even know, never met a day in my life. They welcomed me like they knew me for a lifetime. And that is it just felt like I just knew, I knew them. It just felt like I knew them. And I just can't wait for the next holy day, and I can't wait for the next Passover. It just makes me want to grow from this Passover, just like Elder says, from just judging myself from this Passover to the next. And even though I wasn't dressed in some of those garments were just so amazing and so just beautiful, and I wasn't even dressed like that. No one made me feel like I wasn't dressed to impress. I had on just I had on basic stuff because I didn't really know how to come. I wasn't really sure. But when I seen people just dressed to impress, so royal and so beautifully, it just inspired me to be yeah, I need to make sure that next time I have my brain, and everything that I need, So it felt good just to see that too, and different styles and different different ways to come about it or help yourself. So that was good. That made me feel less than who I was, or made me feel like I was underdressed or in any way.
Well,
celebrate such important moments
Your phone's
moments in history that will soon to come again. I just can't wait for the Most High to return because
your phone's going in and out. I'm not sure if you're moving around or what's going on there, but your phone keeps going in and out. But you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, it had kind of went out a little bit. Well, I'm definitely glad that you got to attend your first Passover and you have children that they had a chance to witness it as well. And your excitement and everything. I mean, I can hear it in your voice, and I'm sure everybody else can too. And thank you for calling in and sharing your Passover experience. And hey, keep that excitement, keep that joy, keep that fire every day, 364 days out of the year. All right.
Absolutely. Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Shabbat Shalom. Let's go to our next caller. Who do we have here? We got the 864 area code, 864. Shabbat Shalom. You're live.
Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. It's Sister Maria with the Atlanta Body. It was such a pleasure to meet you at Passover, Elder. And I really thought that nothing could beat my very first Passover, which was 3 years ago in Philadelphia. It was just amazing, but the spirit was so high. Seriously, I about teared up like all the time, just seeing our people. It just felt like a royal family reunion, and just imagining what the kingdom would look like. Streets paved with gold, and our people, and it was just amazing. I mean, words really, I can't even really put it into words. Just like the first young lady who called in, it was really crazy how the hotels have gotten, because usually it was like, oh, it's just $100 deposit, for incidentals, but to be $100 a day each day you're there, and then you may not get your money. I was saying in the chat, I just got my money back like today, and I'm like, okay, so you held $300 for this long period of time for what? And then at my hotel, I had to pay for $45 a day for valet parking, which we only use it twice. When we needed to leave, they got our car. Then when we came back, they took our car to park it. So I'm like, really, $45 a day just for that? So I was like, it's fine. I'm not even gonna think about it. It was just a blessing to be able to fellowship amongst my people. I mean, I really wish I was able to see a lot more of those that I feel like I have a relationship with in the chat and everything. Looks like I was just chatting with Sister Nafisa from our body. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have to make like some name tags and have it big. One year I actually had made one up, but I forgot it. Today, this is my screen name.
that would definitely help me out, because I'm horrible with names. And so if you could have like your birth name and then your Hebrew name, and then below that your screen name, so I could see all your names. I could try to keep up. Yeah, if I'm not saying your name 100 times, I'm not gonna remember it. I remember faces, so yeah, that's a great idea. Name tags would be great.
One day I'll get my Hebrew name. I'm waiting for my husband to think of what that should be. So, can't wait for that. But it was absolutely just double honors just for all your hard work and dedication. And I'm truly sorry all that crazy stuff happened. But we know that the devil, he can be busy, but no impact.
Well, we count it all joy and glory and tribulations, but the water, and definitely good to meet you and see you again. And thank you for the support. And hey, just keep it going, keep that energy going all the way to the kingdom. Let's get it.
We're gonna endure to the end, and most definitely I see you at the June Truth concert.
Most High will. All right.
Well, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. Let's go to the next caller here. We have the 704 area code. Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder Amar, and everybody. This is Sister herself.
Shabbat Shalom.
I just wanted to say that I really did enjoy this Passover this year, especially since I haven't been able to make the last one. So it being in my city was definitely a blessing for me, and getting to see everybody from the different congregations and how everybody was dressed and just the spirit of love, honestly, because just in the world, that's not something you get to experience. And it was a little bit overwhelming for me going back into Passover and seeing that and experiencing that again. I definitely felt welcomed, and I definitely felt like I said, it was just very genuine. And walking into the corridor and everybody greeting you and stuff like that, I really did need that. It definitely charged me up, but I would say that I definitely got attacked as well before and after, couple weeks before actually, but I would say you definitely wouldn't be able to tell that anybody went through anything being there. So that was definitely like the spirit of the Most High, and definitely carrying that experience with me. So I appreciated it, and I just wanted to say that.
Yes, ma'am. And you said you're from Charlotte, so it was in your hometown, right?
Yeah, and that was a blessing as well, because that's part of the reason I haven't been able to go. So it was like 10 minutes for me, so that was a blessing as well.
Yeah, that must be nice to have it in your hometown. And I enjoyed Charlotte. I believe I've been to North Carolina before, but I can't remember. If I was a kid, I can't recall if I've been to Charlotte. But I love the city. It was a nice city, beautiful place. I could definitely see myself living in a city like that. And the venue was great, great hospitality from you all, and there were familiar faces I was looking forward to possibly seeing. I think yours was one of them. Didn't get a chance to, but next time. But definitely thank you for the white carpet roll out there in Charlotte for us to come and come to your city.
Yeah, I think I did see you, but I just didn't get a chance to speak. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. There were so many people.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Well, the water for calling in, and bless your Sabbath and the rest of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Bless you.
Same to you. Rock us off.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, got a few more callers here. Let's try to get through these calls. We got another from the 864 area code. Shabbat Shalom, you're live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, Elder. First off, I want to thank you for all your hard work, and thank all the other elders and all the others in leadership for everything that they do. This was my first Passover, and I fairly enjoyed it.
All praises, all praises.
Yeah. It was my son's as well. It's his first Passover as well, man. It was truly a blessing, man. As soon as walking in there, first off, vending was amazing. Just, all of us being in there together and just serving one another and just keeping it within Israel, man. It was a beautiful sight. It was a beautiful sight walking in and just seeing everybody. It was like the biggest family reunion ever. It was amazing energy, and I still feel hyped up. It lifted up my spirit so much. I feel recharged. I loved it.
All praises. Glad you enjoyed yourself, and hey, next Passover, let's do it bigger and better. All right.
Con.
All right. Well, bless you and enjoy the rest of your Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Let's go here. We got four more. We're just going to take four more. So, I'm not going to take any more if you call in. Unfortunately, want to get through these calls so I can get to the news, because it's going to take me some time to get through some of this news stuff that's important very prophetic things happening right now. It's important that we are paying attention to these things because it lets us know how close we are to Christ's coming, as well as other prophecies unfolding prior to his coming. 667 area code. Shabbat Shalom, you're live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder Lamar. This is Sister Dave from the DMV.
Shabbat Shalom.
This was actually me and my husband Zach's third Passover. My mother's first Passover. We had we had a few challenges coming there, but all praises, we made it there safely. When we got there, had a little problem with my paying for the hotel room, but luckily my mom she's one of them people that had multiple cards and all that stuff, so we was able to get our room with the down deposit and everything. But it was it was a blessing where we stayed at because we was like literally 15 minutes away from the vineyard. So it wasn't that bad. And it was our first year vending, actually, for me and Zach. Some of the challenges was trying to get my husband to make his jewelry. And he's actually the guy that was sitting there making jewelry as people were walking by. So I've been telling him before Passover, you got to make jewelry. You got to make something for the people. You got to make something. But he said he just kept feeling like he was attacked. He couldn't get nothing done. So he ended up bringing 4 pieces. But overall, when I walked into the vending, me and him walked into the vending, I just couldn't help but smile and feel like I was at home. And I just took my card out and I just started going shopping like no tomorrow. Like today is Christmas for me. I'm going shopping. So, and then I just linked up with people that I already knew there, Humble Homestead, Judah Ware, and then I hugged some of the elders and my mom was sitting around and like, this is what y'all do? I was like, Mom, this is every year. This is like since we've been going, this is how it's been. And she said, oh, this is so beautiful to see all the tribes come together, and it's nothing but love in this room. Like, I said, well, that's what I'm saying to you, Mom. How can anybody be mad? Like, even if you came there with issues, it erased once you got there. And I just felt the Most High there with us, and the love in that room was impeccable. Like, then when we get to the Passover, it's even like that Friday evening, everything was just a blessing. And that Saturday, looking at everybody coming in, I mean, I just thought about Elder's song and Bishop Amar's song, Drip. I'm like, look at all these saints in here. That spirit is just dripping.
That drip was
love, dripping.
Yeah.
Like not just even just the look. Just the dripping with the love, the humbleness, the peace, the joy. Like you felt that in the room. Even brothers and sisters that I didn't even know, and I was saying shalom, the smile in their face reached their eyes. Like you seen pure joy. And I was like, this is how we should be as a nation, as a people. This is how we should be. No strife, no malice, just pure love. And my mom was smiling from ear to ear, ear to ear. And I was like, Mom, this is every year like this. She said, I will be at the next, God willing, Passover. And I said, that's what I've been telling you about. Like, it's just nothing but love. And we had nothing to complain about. Like, I was talking to people I didn't even know, and they welcomed me with open arms. And I'm like, what? The only thing I said, I'm like, I hope one Passover that, like one sister said, Maria said, we should have name tags. I think in each area, if you know where the person's from, elders should put a sign up for the Houston body, the DMV body, so you know where your people at, and you can just come over and say hello. You don't have to ask, like, where you from? You know that they from the Houston body, or they from the Cleveland, or or the Dallas or North Carolina. Like I think that would be cool to have signs over the tables. But other than that, everything looked beautiful. Everything was a blessing, and I'm just glad to be there to experience that and see everybody. And I yield with that.
And that's a good idea. I'll look into that as far as speaking with behind the scenes to the elders and administration about maybe it'd be nice to have the name tag with the body, whatever city you're from, with the name tag on it, and that way people see your name, they see what church you're from. It'll make it real easy to start learning everyone's names, because it's loud and people tell me their names. Sometimes I can't quite hear them, or they'll tell me, and then, like I said, I'm not good with names at all. So within 5 seconds, I will have already forgot the name. So just so it can hopefully stick with us and we can know each other better. Because, for us as leaders, it's easy for people to know who we are because, you see us and you know us. But for us, it's hard because there's thousands of members. And if we're not talking to you on a consistent basis, it's just a lot to keep up with all the names. So, but definitely thanks for calling in. Glad you enjoyed yourself. And like I said, let's keep it going all the way to the kingdom.
Okay.
All right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Let's go to the next caller. We got the 979 area. Hold on. 979 area code. Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder Ramar. This is Brother Dawadah with the Bryan College Station congregation.
Brother Dawadah. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just wanted to share real quick about the Passover experience and really how each year is just getting so much better. This is actually my third Passover experience, and the organization from top to bottom, the ushers, the security, the choir, all the hard work that was put in on each side is really growing and getting better each year, and I thought that was amazing to see. Mainly with the Passover, I feel that this one altogether, if it didn't already, this was the most inspiring. Like, this one really should have, inspired people to really want to do the work. You had the young man to get up there and say, what does he want to do? He said that he wants to do this work, and I'm like, man, that's a babe. That's a child. Saying he wants to do the work. So that's really inspiring altogether. And then knowing some of the things going on with the people you labor amongst, their perseverance. People lose, deaths in the family, still getting up doing the work, whatever the case may be, and seeing them persevere and do it in excellence at that, is just very inspiring. Also seeing the leaders, the leaders that got newly promoted to deacons as well, that being on the broadcast. So it's just showing, growth, perseverance, and just really wanting to get up and do the work. And I think that's the most important thing that I took from it altogether. And, with the lessons that Ricard went into Friday and Saturday, just dealing with, no excuses. There's no excuses at all for why we shouldn't excel and be the best that we can be in Christ, And, altogether I'll yield with that.
All praises. Well, definitely, everything you said, all praises to the Most High. Thankful for it. Thankful for you as well, my brother, and keep, like you said with the young man saying he wants to do the work, I'll tell you the same. Keep doing the work, and let's get this kingdom.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, and see you soon.
Shabbat Shalom. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go over to the 832 area code. Shabbat Shalom. You are live. 832, last four digits, 2143. Are you there? If you can hear me, I cannot hear you.
Yes, sir. Shabbat Shalom, Elder Ramar.
Shabbat Shalom.
This is Sister Anawa.
How you doing?
From Bryan College Station on the AHAYAH. I'm doing wonderful. I'm healing up from a sore lower back from that long trip.
Yeah.
But between me and my pad, I'm getting better.
All praises.
But I just want to piggyback off of. Yes, sir. I just want to piggyback off of Dawadah about the security. This is my third Passover also, and I was more impressed with the security this time. They had them all out in the parking lot, all throughout the building, over by the ladies' bathroom. and all of them down the long corridor greeted us, and we just felt so like the lady said, we just felt royal.
Mm.
And man, they had Elder called covered so well. You wouldn't know he was covered so well until you got up on him too close, and then they jumped out. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I said, well, I don't blame him for having security so tight around him, because I know he's training some young lions to come on behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but if anything ever happened to that man, that's it for the world. That's it. Because I've never known a leader standing in the pulpit with the word as strong as Elder Recall. And I did manage to get a picture with him, and I didn't know it until I got back to my seat. And I was going through my pictures. I said, I did get one picture with him. And I told him, I taught him on the show. I said, man, you look just like my daddy. He said, probably the eyes. I said, the eyes and the skin color and everything, the hair and everything. He's so much like my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to call in and share my experience with the security and the joy that I feel being among so many beautiful people, and all the beautiful royal outfits make me want to pull out all my sewing machines and all my patterns and all my accessories and get busy and make some more beautiful outfits for the royal family.
Well, hey, just like we talked about, get them hands ready.
Yes, sir.
Get those skills ready, because we're gonna need it. So
I will.
So it's coming.
All right. Keep me in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And I was impressed with your family and your sweet little wife. I was so impressed.
All praises.
May the Most High bless you. May the Most High bless y'all and keep all of y'all, and the water for everything y'all do.
Likewise, the water,
Shalom.
all praises, and Shabbat Shalom. All right, let's go over here to the 612 area code, 612, Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, I just wanted to say I had a chance to meet you and your wife. You are very humble people. It was really loving. Everybody was very loving and beautiful. Like you said, the fiery dots came. They came before I got there and while I was there. But, the Most High kept me grounded, and I'm grateful, and I felt safe. I felt loved. Like the sisters are saying, about people that I have never met in my life before. But it was a big family reunion, and I'm grateful. And that also was my third Passover. So I just calling in to just say thank you to everyone.
Well, all praises, and thank you for calling in. May the Most High bless you. Enjoy the rest of your feast. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, last two. We're going to get through these last two right here, and then we're going straight to the news. All right. We got 757 area code 713, and then we're finished. So let's go over here. 757, Shabbat Shalom. You are live.
Shabbat Shalom, Elder. How you doing, sir?
You're doing well and blessed. How are you?
Doing well, sir. This is Brother Yowanathan from the Virginia body. And, first I just want to say to Wada for everything you do in the sacrifice that you and all of our leaders should put in and day out. So we greatly appreciate you, and double honors to you all. And my condolences go out to the saints who lost a loved one during this time of Passover. Losing a brother and sister, even though I don't know them, but knowing they're in the body of Christ, it's like, I lost somebody, So prayers definitely go out to you and all the Dallas body and their families. And, it's tough, this year, hearing a lot of the struggles that, yourself and other saints had to go through getting here. It reminds me of kind of what Abraham had to endure, taking up Isaac to do the will of the Most High for the sacrifice. But it's just a blessing that, as long as we stay faithful, the enemy can try, but he's not going to win. So I left Passover extremely encouraged and, motivated to actually do more work, like the brother said earlier. Logistically, I have a pretty big family, 4 kids under 4, so things can be kind of tough managing any kind of trip like that. but through the help of the saints and the Most High, we were able to, make it happen. And it's just a blessing over the years watching the growth of the body. It's a miracle, honestly, every time, just being in the presence of so many saints, just watching the prophecies come to life with all of the tribes getting together in these last days. So it's always an honor to be there. And in the moment with every feast day, it just feels like, I'm meant to be in this moment. So all praise to the Most High for that. But yeah, after the Passover, unfortunately, my wife and I, unfortunately suffered a little sickness, and we're currently under the weather right now. But, we're getting over. But I'm definitely not letting, that kind of take off the spiritual growth and gain that we received from the Passover. So, yeah, and ask you keep us in your prayers, and we're going to continue to keep you and all of our leadership and all the saints in our prayers daily. So with that, I yield the water. Shabbat shalom.
All praises. Shabbat shalom and bless you. And for the two brothers that passed, they're in the bosom of Abraham, resting. They're there resting. They're out of their sorrows and miseries, and we look to join them one day soon. Whether we die in Christ or we see them upon the return of Christ. All right. Last call, and then we're going to transition over into the news. 713 area code. Shabbat shalom. You are live.
Shabbat shalom, Elder Ramar. Wow. Elder, can you hear me?
I hear you. It sounds like the whole time has you maybe lost for words.
Wow. To do
breathtaking.
A recap, first of all, double honors to all of our elders throughout the four corners of the earth, to our deacons, bishops, officers, and their families, those who lead fearlessly Israel.
Oh, man.
Which I know
All
is
praises.
not an easy task.
All praises.
So double honors to you all for that. Wow, to do a recap, first of all, my name is Sister AHAYAH. I am with the Bryan College Station body. The presiding leader for us is Deacon Azaniah. Got promoted during Passover. I'm at a loss for words, though, Elder Ramar. The energy in the building was just, it's beyond any Passover that I've been to, and I've been going since 2017. So this time, what I felt, and the camaraderie with the people, the seamlessness of everything. Shout out to Deacon Shawan, who just said everything. It was so seamless. And, wow, I'm just so at a loss for words. I just had to call in, though, because I want to thank everybody that was able at least to come and to be there, to fellowship, to bring that love that everybody needs so that we can get recharged. But first of all, to our Elder Ricard, who brought the message so that we can continue one more year to keep moving, to encourage us in the walk. First of all, no excuses. I know that was brought up by somebody else, but no excuses. Like, finish.
Right.
Finish strong. Finish your purpose.
Right.
Finish what he called you to do. Moses, excuses, but he still finished. He's like, hold up, I have a speech impediment. And I was just like, wow, Elder Ricard brought that out there on Friday night. But then the times we're coming into on Saturday night, and everybody really should, if you haven't had the opportunity to go back and listen to that message that we need to hold on to moving forward, is on Saturday, Sirach chapter 6, when you have to prove a friend. We're coming into some really dangerous times, and the elder wouldn't be giving us these nuggets, these diamonds in the rough to take with us, as we go throughout this journey, just because. No, he can see spiritually up the road the betrayal that could happen. And if you haven't proved somebody, then you may undergo this, and this may take you out of the body, and that's the last thing he wants. He's just looking ahead. He's covering his flock. So grateful for those messages that I hold so dear to move forward now on to this new year as we recap Passover. I had the opportunity to be a vendor there, and we literally liquidated Judaware. That was bittersweet. It was very bittersweet for me to do that. But then we released the new brand, Proven. So, and Elder, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new journey through leadership, through your leadership, sir, throughout leadership for Deacon AHAYAH, you all steering us and guiding us in the right direction as a body. All I can do is just say the water, and that, I just implore those that are not in a body, Baba Kusha, please make your way to a body. There is safety. There is safety in a body. So if you're not in a body, please make your way to a body. And I just, that's my recap. I did have the opportunity to sing, had the opportunity to decorate, all of that. Those that do the work, what comes with it. It's the no sleep Passover, but you love and you enjoy that moment and you hold on to it dearly. I just had to call in. I had to thank you, first of all, Elder Ramar, you and your wife, your family. Y'all are just, man, you're gold. You're just with the spirit you all bring. Every time I see you all, every time I get the opportunity to commune with you all, it doesn't parallel to anything in this world. The relationships that we build in this truth, and we have the opportunity to come together like-minded under Christ and finish what he started. He laid the ground, and Elder Ricard, for you all to go, first of all, over to Egypt and come back. And now look at how big this has just sprouted. And the Father and Christ is pulling us together. This is a gathering of Christ Church. So I just had to call in. I just had to throw in my hat in the ring there. And I just want to thank you, Elder Ramar, again for your broadcast. Man, I'm just looking forward to see what we have in store for the new year. And all praises to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bahasham YASHAYA. And come on, saints. Y'all, we're right at the finish line. Don't fumble that rock. Hold on to it. We're almost there. So bless you to the elders, Sawada.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And thank you for your works. And like you said, let's finish. So, hey, more trials are coming. The trials are just beginning. So, hey, let's endure together. All right. And so, Shabbat Shalom, and more to come with, now the brand Proven, which was Judaware. We'll be talking about that more coming up soon. So brothers and sisters, understand that that brand now is transitioned to Proven, no longer Judaware. All right, and once again, thank all the brothers and sisters that were there. Even those if you didn't make it, next time, Most High willing, you'll be there. All those that called in this evening to share their testimony. And I just want to pull up the scriptures here as we are coming to a close of Passover and unleavened bread. Just going to read these scriptures here. Leviticus 23, verse 4 says, "These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover." So last week, Friday night, started the 14th day, which was Passover. All right. So here we are a week later. It says, "And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread." Okay. So then Saturday night started the 15th day. It was the double Sabbath, the holy day of the feast of unleavened bread. It says here, verse 7, "In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein." So Saturday night to Sunday night last week was a high holy day. It was the feast of unleavened bread, the first day. And then verse 8, it says, "But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And in the seventh day is an holy convocation. ye shall do no servile work therein. So we're now in the seventh day for those that the sun has gone down and it's Friday night where you're at. Between tonight and tomorrow night is the seventh day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're coming to a close. I know a lot of you all out there, those are my bread eaters that like the leaven and the bread, probably are looking forward to being able to eat some bread again. But nonetheless, we are thankful to have this time, even, eating of the unleavened bread, and keeping in mind that as we now being under Christ, that our focus should not be the priority focused on the leaven in the bread that we eat, but the focus should be on the leaven that could be within ourselves, which is sin. Okay, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So I know a lot of times people are trying to figure out, is there leaven in this food item? Is there leaven in that food item? But no one ever talks about, is there leaven in me? Is there sin in me? Which is the most important thing. Okay, because if you eat some food that has some leaven in it and, you didn't know, there's grace for that. Okay, and there is grace for our sins too, but we have to be in repentance. Okay, we have to be living a righteous lifestyle, and getting the leaven out of our physical bodies, our physical homes, our physical houses, which is our bodies. Okay, and that should be the main thing we're focused on, so that we don't go and be like Judas. Okay, and be condemn ourselves with the spirit of Judas, and having hatred in our heart towards the Most High, towards Christ, towards our brothers, our sisters. Okay, so let us focus on that, and not just during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? You throw it out, you really focus and self-examine during this time, and then from year to year, from this time until next year, you're doing your best to keep the leaven from coming back in. Keep the leaven out. That doesn't mean that, okay, tomorrow night I can now start to bring the sin back in my life, the leaven back in my life, and go back to my sin. You see what I'm saying? So let's abstain from the sin as we walk in the very, very evil times that we are living in. And that brings us over now to, let me pull it up, our news, our recent news that I want to talk about. Okay, we'll spend about 30 minutes or so diving into the latest news that's going on that I feel like is very, very important for us to focus in on right now. As a lot is happening, or a lot has happened. So how many of you all have heard about the Texas fires that have happened here in recent weeks? We have an article here. Texas fires are destroying cattle ranches. Will the U.S. beef industry survive? It says here, and what the Wall Street Apes Twitter account is describing as a total wipeout of the American beef industry, the Texas fires have reportedly annihilated a disturbing number of cattle ranches, feedlots, and grasslands in the Lone Star State. The devastation is enormous, including at least 100 miles, of power lines gone, meaning no more operational electric grid in those areas, as well as huge losses of prairie and grass for cattle to graze, that is, for the cattle that survived the fiery inferno. So we're gonna play this video here in a moment, as you have Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller talk about what all this means. So what we're looking at now is 1.5 million acres of devastated and destroyed land here in Texas. It says here, Texas fire largest in American history. So this is the largest fire in American history. And you would think, and I'm not certain, you all can answer this. Have you heard any of this in the past month on the news, them talk about this? I haven't. If it wasn't for, the alternative media or the independent media, I wouldn't even know this is going on. You would think that the largest fire in American history would be on every news station and publication that you could come across. And that Time Magazine, National Geographic, all these people would be there doing a documentary on this. But it's a total media blackout, total mainstream media blackout. That should be very telling. It says here, as we reported back in 2022, U.S. food infrastructure has been under attack for some time now. We've talked about this. We've done broadcasts on how all these food plants, processing centers, farms, agricultural centers have just seemed to just mysteriously go up in flames, explosions, destruction since about 2021. It says food factories all across the nation have burned to the ground under mysterious circumstances, and now we have this apparent attack on the U.S. beef industry. Though Texas is not America's exclusive provider of beef, the cattle and land that was lost in this massive fire will probably have a noticeable impact on the conventional beef supply. So when you look at the numbers for this, the Texas Panhandle, this particular area that went up in smoke, produces 88% of U.S. beef production. 88%. What does that mean for the beef supply? What does that mean for beef costs? Right? These are things we must ask ourselves as we see this happening on top of the other explosions and destruction on our food supply that has happened the past few years. It says the largest fire we've ever had in Texas is the largest fire we've ever had in the United States. It's almost at 2,000 square miles, 1.5 million acres, and a preliminary report stating 3,000 heads of cattle. That number will triple or quadruple before it's over. And you also have to keep in mind that you have cows that hooves are burnt or their udders are burnt that are going to have to be euthanized. Also, what about the cows that no longer have grass to graze because the grass has been burnt to a crisp? They have no more food, so they're going to die too. Not only in addition to the cattle, you got to look at the 500 homes and barns that were pretty much, when you look at the footage, liquidated in their footprint. Now, we've seen this before. Okay, we talked about what's happened in recent years in California, where you have homes go up and liquefy in their footprint, only for the trees around the homes to be standing. Same thing with Maui and Hawaii. Okay, something that they didn't mention on the news, you probably didn't see this, Chile. The same thing happened in Chile within the past couple of months with these weird scenarios where trees are still standing, but aluminum and glass is melted in its footprint. And now we have it here in Texas. So let's come over here. We're going to check this video out. This is the actual Twitter account that this article was just speaking about. Cattle feed and feedlots burn. No water the ranchers use for their cattle, so the water's gone. No grass, prairie land for the cattle to graze is gone. 100 miles of power lines down, no grid. Seems the entire beef cattle industry just got wiped out. What are the odds, family? Many cattle's hooves have been burned, and many more will need to be put down. What an amazing coincidence. This happened to the beef industry when we've had the gates of hell come out recently, talk about he wants to genetically modify the cows because of climate change and how they're looking to bring in the wonder meat, the incredible meat, the I can't believe it's not meat, the bugs, we talked about the Soylent Green, all these things. So when you start to see this meat pop up on your shelves, you may not notice the difference. You may think that this is beef you're eating when it is something else, especially when you talk about the ground so-called beef, because when it's ground up, you don't know what that is. You see, so these are things we're going to have to really pay close attention to with pricing and supply coming in the near future. So let's hear this particular gentleman speak. Sid Miller, Texas Agricultural Commissioner, on this event.
$90.
Breaking news out of Texas. We just received an update from our Texas Agricultural Commissioner, Sid Miller, and I'm going to play that video right after this. But a few things that I just took away that are very, very, very important for folks to understand across the country. Now, this fire in Texas is now the largest in Texas state history, and we knew that about 3 days ago when that hit over 1 million acres. They're now at 1.5 million acres. They have 120 miles of power lines down. So the grid up in that part of the country is completely down right now. No grid, no water. The majority of these farmers and ranchers depend on well water. And additionally, there's no grass. There's no prairie land up there for the cattle to graze on. And there's been a bunch of feed and feedlots that have burned down too.
The largest fire we've ever had in Texas. It's the largest fire we've ever
10
had in the United
seconds.
States. It's almost at 2,000 square miles, 1.5 million acres. Preliminary reports, 3,000 head of cattle. That number will triple or quadruple before it's over, especially when we start euthanizing the cattle that have had their hooves burnt or their udders burnt. We're going to have to, put a lot of these animals down. It's a sad situation. We've had over 500 houses and barns destroyed, and that number continues to climb. We've had 2 fatalities. Thank goodness it's only 2. But we also have 5 firefighters that have been injured. We've got over 120 miles, Sandra, of power lines that are down. Now, this country is sparsely populated and very arid, so there's not a lot of stock water. Most of the water comes from wells. So not only is this livestock out of grass, but there's also no water. So it's a very desperate situation.
Look at these houses, family. Look at these homes. Look at the trees behind them still standing. What kind of wildfire? What kind of wildfire do you know of where the trees are supposed to be the wildfire are standing and the homes are burnt to the ground? This is not a wildfire. And so what I would tell brothers and sisters is, if you have a deep freeze, if you have room in your freezer, to start stocking up on beef and get it now while it's cheap. Beef is one of the best protein sources. Make sure it's grass-fed beef. You're going to spend a little bit more if it's grass-fed, organic beef. Okay, put it in your freezer, stock up on it. Beef is very nutritious, lots of high-quality protein, high-quality fat. It has a lot of minerals in it. And even when you read in prophecy, it talks about how the cattle is going to sustain us in the wilderness. Okay. And it doesn't mean you have to eat beef every day or eat beef all the time. Okay. You still have those other things you want to eat. You got to get your fiber. You got to get your veggies and your fruits and things like that from, your other types of foods. But beef is can go a long way. And right after this event, this video came out to show that before this fire took place, a man captures laser beam strike in Texas. Let's check this out. What the? Now, we've seen this before. We saw this in Maui before the fires in Maui and other places where you see these green lasers. You know, green lasers from the sky toward the ground. What the is that, dude? So you think it's any coincidence that right before these fires started in this same area, you saw these green laser strikes in Texas, right? And we know that it's out. The military makes no secret about it, that they have microwave weaponry. Okay, they have microwave laser weapons. And so this phenomena that where trees don't burn, but glass, which takes 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit to melt, which wildfires only reach 1,000. So not hot enough to melt glass, but it's hot enough to melt the glass, but not hot enough to melt the trees. It says here, too many coincidences to count now. How many fires and explosions have occurred throughout America in the last 24 months, impacting food production and distribution? So here is the Texas one. It says, hell on earth. As fires continue to burn out of control, reports suggest that over 80% of all of Texas cattle feed in the impacted area. Texas, the state with the most cattle in the United States, boasts an impressive population of 4.5 million cows. With vast expanses of land and a favorable climate for grazing, Texas has long been associated with ranching and cattle production. What are the chances, fam? Doesn't happen in the field where there's nothing grazing there at all. Okay. This happens in a place where all the cows are. What a coincidence. Right? What a coincidence. And what a coincidence that in the past 24 months, you've seen all these reports. Here's a report. This is kind of small, kind of hard to see. I can't see the date, but it says complete coincidence. At least 7 large farm fires scorched U.S. in the last 10 days. So I don't know if this was recent, but within the past 24 months, you're seeing these reports come out of farms and food production facilities, factories going up in smoke. And here are some of the 2022 map points of where these events were happening. All right. And I can't remember all the broadcast names that we've done in the past where we've talked about this. It says here, in case you're not paying attention, I'll help you out. This is one of the largest egg farms in the country, mysteriously torched. That's food factory number 19 in 2022. So I can't remember how many it was in 2022. It was, well up into the, like close in the 50s and beyond. But this was number 19 in June, halfway through the year of 2022, the largest egg farm in the U.S. up in smoke. And it's not just in America, it's happening in other parts of the world. And you're starting to see, I don't know if you all have been looking what's going on in Europe, you're seeing these farmers over in Europe protesting with their tractors. The government, because the government is trying to shut them down over climate change. right? But the farmers are fighting back. See, this is stuff they'll never show you on TV. They want to show you all the distractions, all the entertainment, the smoke and mirrors, keep you distracted with the hocus pocus while this stuff is happening right up under our nose, and we have no clue, and we won't realize that we're in a famine until it's too late. All right? We won't realize it's a famine until it's too late. So I wanted to make sure I brought this out, that brothers and sisters are aware of this happening. And then I know a lot of you probably have seen this. The Great American Eclipse of 2024 will cross over 7 U.S. locations named Nineveh. So how many of you all keep hearing about this upcoming eclipse coming next month? I think it's April 8th? And they're saying that this eclipse, the shadow of this eclipse is going to go over 7 locations across America. And just so happens that there is a city across this line 7 times called Nineveh, all the way up here. I believe it's Maine, or whatever state this is up here by Maine. And as you come across, you go east to west, as you come all the way down, all the way into Texas, you have 7 cities across this line called Nineveh. You see? So that Nova Scotia, all right, that's Nova Scotia. That's outside the U.S. But North America, nonetheless, Nineveh, New York, Nineveh, PA, Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Indiana. You have a city called Rapture, Indiana. And then you have Nineveh, Texas, and Jonah, Texas. Very, very interesting. And you also have, they have this ark that they've recreated in Kentucky, in Williamston, Kentucky, where this, I believe the previous eclipse shadow crossed over. So they're saying between the last eclipse and this coming eclipse, it forms an X across America, like bullseye on America. All right. And someone says that there are 2 cracks across America, 1,700-mile cracks that go across America. And the eclipse actually goes across the last 2 eclipses, the one in August of 2017 and the one next month will go right across these cracks. Okay. And so there's, that and more here in this article. These eclipses happen 7 years apart, and we know the Most High's number 7. Okay. And so what about this eclipse? What else about this eclipse than what we're seeing here? Well, you're also seeing this being reported. Yes, the Texas power grid will be impacted by the April 8th eclipse. So now you're starting to see all of these states come out and say that the power grid is going to be affected by this eclipse. Now, this is very strange to me because, ever since I was a kid, I remember eclipses happening, and I never remember anything happening to the power grid ever. So I'm trying to understand why all of a sudden is this eclipse? How all of a sudden does this eclipse now have the power to affect the power grid? And they're telling not only Texas, but other states to get ready. Get ready for this event. ERCOT, which is the Texas electrical provider, NASA, we talked about NASA and recent months and what's really going on with NASA. But these are warnings being given out that pretty much them saying all hell's about to break loose with this eclipse, and for people to get prepared and get ready. You come over here to Travis County, which is Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas. Travis County issues disaster declaration ahead of total solar eclipse. So, you know, where are they getting their information from? How do they know? How are they, you know, again, first time ever I remember a disaster declaration being called for a solar eclipse. Maybe somebody can help me out with the history here. Maybe in the times past we've had those declared, but I'm not familiar. It says Travis County said it will take emergency measures ahead of the total solar eclipse set to take place in exactly 1 month. The declaration was anticipation of large crowds, increased traffic, and strains on first responders, hospitals, and road related to the eclipse. Travis County Judge Andy Brown issued the declaration. It's super exciting to see this once-in-a-lifetime event. What makes it different is that it's a natural phenomenon and we can't control the weather around it. So there's lots of variables that we just can't control for. And let me see, what else does it say here? So basically what they're trying to say is that, well, we're going to get an influx of people coming in to the county to witness this eclipse, right? That's what they're saying. So we're putting an emergency declaration in place in case, you know, through all the traffic and, you know, things that can happen with all the influx of people. All right. But it's like we've had eclipses many, many times throughout the years, and there's never been this type of hype. People just typically go outside and watch the eclipse if they look at it, right, and go about their business. They're talking about this thing like this is a Super Bowl of events to look at, and it's like they're, you know, pretty much projecting all of this onto us. Right, there's a lot of projection going on here, a lot of hyping this up, but let's not forget that the electric companies are telling us that it's going to affect the grid. It's not just going to be traffic and all the problems that come from all the traffic and people coming together, but the power grid is going to be affected, and not just Texas, but pretty much, you know, when you start looking into it, it's pretty much all the states are preparing. You even have here, Entergy, Arkansas prepared for solar eclipse. But this says, path of totality across the state will not affect power capacity. It says a large part of Arkansas will go dark Monday, April 8th, but it won't be because the lights go out. You see, but speaking to police, we actually have brothers that are in the church that are police in Austin, Texas. Pretty much from what they're being prepped is it's all hands on deck. They're passing out radiation masks, and they're telling people get prepared and get ready. You know, on and on and on and on and on, as if some big event is fixing to happen. For people to get stocked up, fill their, you know, cars up, their gasoline up, you know, all this stuff, all this hysteria with this event. They're drumming it up, and you know, everything else will be on a need to know basis within the police. And he said he's never seen anything like it, what they're being prepped for. And what I would just tell people is as a church, we've always told people to prep and get ready for whatever event could happen. It could be just a tornado coming through your neighborhood or a hurricane or whatever, whatever. Just to be prepared, right? We're not looking for any one event, but just to always be ready. So this is just another sign that if you don't have what you need, get what you need, because they could drum up it. I don't think anything is going to happen as far as to what they're saying is going to happen, because the government, hey, if you think that they're looking for us to be prepared for an event, I don't buy that. Okay. So I feel like this is an opportunity to get people into a state of panic, a frenzy, a test, and then it comes and goes, nothing happens, and then when the Black Swan event comes randomly, you won't be prepared for that. So it's like snatching the rug from up under the people's feet. People will say, oh, well, they always say something's going to happen, nothing ever happens. Well, if nothing happens, then that just puts people more into a state of complacency and comfort, to not prepare, because the Bible tells us that the Great Tribulation is coming. Okay. And it's not going to be just one event. So our thing to people, brothers and sisters, is to get prepared. We see the signs. It's not any one event. It's going to be a series of events. Get prepared. Make sure you have what you need in your home to sustain. Don't be out there amongst the hysteria. Not to say that there's not going to be, people out there, all type of craziness going all the way up until the day of, especially the days right before. You might see your grocery stores emptied out from people stockpiling. So now's the time to get ahead of the curve. Even if it's just your typically weekly groceries that you buy. Okay, make sure you get there ahead of time to get those weekly groceries that week and be stocked up, so that you're not scrambling around trying to get stuff you need days leading up into, and all the shelves are empty. Or it could turn into a stampede and people are fighting in the stores and in the streets. You just don't want to be caught up in the hysteria. Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to make sure we spoke about. Upcoming. What else do we have? This is also something we need to discuss. How many of you all have heard about why has the U.S. passed a bill to ban TikTok? And what's next? The U.S. House of Representatives has approved a bill that could force the app's Chinese owner, BitDance, to divest from the company or face a ban. Okay. It says here, it says many House legislators have argued that the app could allow the Chinese government to access user data and influence Americans through the wildly popular social media platform's addictive algorithm. The White House has backed the bill, with President Joe Biden saying he would sign it if it passes Congress. So they're looking to convince us that this Chinese app can be used to hack Americans, spy on Americans, and that's the reason they want to ban it. That's what they want us to believe. When we know America and China are really cozy behind the scenes. It doesn't take much research to see that America and China do a lot together. But in the mainstream media, on the surface, this is the narrative they're trying to tell us, when we know that TikTok is a huge social media platform, 170 million US users alone. A lot of information like this here, this green laser beam in Texas, is being shown on TikTok. So when I see this happening, it makes sense of what's going on. Right? They'll tell us it's because they fear that it could be secretly controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. But I could have sworn America just passed an anti-Asian or an Asian anti-hate bill recently. Doesn't sound like America's against China to me. Right? So you have people coming out protesting this. But this is all the cover of something much dark and sinister happening when we see something like this going on. It says here, when would the TikTok ban go into effect? Okay, when could it go into effect? So it says here, the House overwhelmingly passed a measure on March 13th that gives BitDance a choice. Sell TikTok within 6 months or lose access to app stores and web hosting services in the U.S. Okay, so they want this company to sell TikTok, or else America will no longer support. It's basically America's going to block TikTok from American users having access through the app stores to use it. Okay. When will the Senate vote on the TikTok bill? The Senate does not seem to be in a hurry to send the bill to President Biden, who recently said he would sign it. All right. So they have the bill ready to go, ready to send through. And then it would just be Biden signing it to solidify the ban. I'm going to break down what this means. Okay, what's really going on here versus what we're seeing. We have Canada news. Canada introduces bill to lock citizens up for life if they say the wrong thing. So now we're starting to see speech being attacked, because when you talk about TikTok, right, and you're talking about it not being able to be used, you're talking about freedom of speech. Right, let me find it in here. It's in this actual article here. It says here, banning TikTok directly or indirectly would violate the First Amendment because it would stifle free expression and restrict the public's access to a critical source of information. The government can't impose this type of total ban unless it's the only way to prevent extremely serious and immediate harm to national security. Ashley Gorski, senior staff attorney with the ACLU's National Security Project, told Al Jazeera. So what do we see happening here? The First Amendment under attack. When you start to see this happening, this is what's really going on. So then we fast forward over here to Canada. We see a bill being introduced to lock Canadians up if they say the wrong thing. Everyone who commits an offense that is motivated by hatred based on race, national or ethnic origin, language, color, religion, sex, age, mental or physical disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for life. Okay, and you have a video here. And I'll make sure you all have these articles. I'm not going to show these videos here. But who determines what hatred is if you say the wrong thing? against any of these particular demographics. Okay. How do you know what is hate and what's not? Who's going to determine that? They are. They're going to determine if you calling someone out for doing something evil or something wrong is considered hate or anti, right? That anti-S word that they love to use as a shield. Now, you could be locked up for speaking out, speaking the truth. Fast forward over here. Canadian bill would remove religious exemption from hate speech laws, critics warn. And Canada's big on the letter people, real big with the letter people thing. And we know how Canada is usually like a beta test before it happens in America. They like to do it there and then bring it here. Christians say quoting scripture could be criminalized if legislation passes. We are here, family. Everything is coming together. Everything Christ said, they shall hate you for my name's sake. You quote scripture, right? And you call things for what they are, the truth and righteousness, and what is unrighteous, you could be jailed. You could be imprisoned if you speak out. Okay, so these bills are.
So it's a very desperate situation.
These bills are, starting to hit government, representative floors, parliament floors. And then this article here, End of the American Dream, there is a war on free speech, and they won't ever be satisfied until it's completely eradicated. Oh, yes. The reason why we oftentimes stream from Twitch, right? That's why we're usually on Twitch, because you got to play these games with certain platforms, right? This is why hate speech laws are so vaguely written, right? It's total ambiguous. It's up for interpretation. They can pretty much dictate what's hate speech and what's what. So it talks about here, that is why what is happening in the state of Washington is so alarming. A new law would allow private individuals to collect up to $2,000 every time they report someone to the new hate crimes and bias incidents hotline. So you're going to have government snitches calling in if they see a hate crime or witness a hate crime, and this person who's deemed worthy of the hate crime will be fined $2,000. Okay, so we're starting to see this happen across state lines, across international lines in different countries. And who wants to be fined $2,000? Right? That's an easy way to now control what people say. It says even in New York, Governor Kathy Hochul intends to massively expand the hate crime laws in her state. And in Michigan last year, a bill was introduced that would have made it a felony if someone felt terrorized, frightened, or threatened by your words. And we know who all this is designed to protect. There's typically three groups. Okay. Those ish people, those letter people, and typically black women are the three groups that you cannot speak against. Those are the protected groups that they protect, because those are the groups that keep this world out of order by their being propped up, right, as the dominant force in our society. Right, when you have black women as the dominant force within the black community, that keeps the black community in disarray. Okay, when you have the letter people propped up as the dominant force in our society, that keeps our society in disarray. When you have the Ish people claiming to be that they are the people. Okay? God's chosen people in the world, and all the sentiments that come with that and power that keeps this world in disarray. So those are the protected groups here. So now they're starting to position and move to start to take control of the internet. Okay, you think it starts and ends with TikTok? No, that's the beginning. Because then now here comes Rumble, here comes Odyssey, right? Any other internet platform or website now is going to be under a strict code of conduct, of words, of what you can and can't say, or we're going to take you down. And this is how they put themselves in power, to where there's no calling them out, reporting what they're doing, or pushback. Okay, and then it goes into the Canada situation that we just went into here in this article as well, talking about what they're doing in Canada. All right, so I want people to make sure this news, we're paying attention to what's going on in the midst of everything else, in the midst of enjoying the Most High's holy days. Don't let this stuff take your joy away. Don't let it stop you from celebrating. But at the same time, don't also not get caught off guard and unprepared at the same time. As even Christ warned, pray that our flight be not in the winter or on the Sabbath day. All right, this keeps things in perspective, that we're being vigilant, being diligent in these end times as 2024 is turning all the way up. Okay, what else do we have? A few more things here, and then we're going to conclude. We have, how many of you all have seen this? Cannibal gangs are roving Haiti on murder sprees, eating people they've killed. How many people are paying attention to what's going on in Haiti right now? Our Levite brothers and sisters. Right? The zombie apocalypse has arrived, family, at least in Haiti. A real-life Walking Dead situation is unfolding in the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince, where roving gangs are attacking police officers with machetes and eating people like cannibals. Okay. Eating people like cannibals. Is the U.S. purposely destabilizing Haiti? Remember the earthquake? The earthquake that happened in Haiti. Who went in? The Red Cross or the Red Shield or the Rothschild. Okay, went into Haiti. You had the Clinton Foundation went into Haiti. What has been going on in Haiti ever since then? I believe during the lockdown, one of the presidents was they sent mercenaries in to assassinate the president that was there. So absolutely destabilization happening in Haiti right now. Okay, and you may even have cannibalism going on, not just for these gangs, but it might be for survival because of the famine. Okay, this is nothing new. When you read 70 AD, read about it, the history, Josephus, you see this happening, where Israelites were eating babies to stay alive because they did not take heed to the prophecies, take heed to Christ's commandments. Okay. You also have this character named Cherizier. I think that's how you say his name. It's probably French. I might be mispronouncing it. He said that he's going to fight against the Haitian president until he resigns, which I believe he recently did. He says, I am ready to make an alliance with the devil, ready to sleep in the same bed as the devil. He told his supporters as they proceeded to destroy police stations and other government facilities. How did this guy become so powerful to where the government and police stations can't mess with him? What's going on here? His nickname is called Barbecue. You can't make this stuff up, family. is said to have come from the guy's alleged propensity to set his victims on fire. His mother supposedly had given him the nickname when he was a child. So somehow he had this nickname since a child, and he's fitting his nickname out real time as an adult. All right. But I have my own thoughts about this character, but just giving y'all some information here. So here he goes. Oh, say it ain't so. Fits right in line with what we've been talking about here lately. We've been doing a lot of talk about these Freemasons. So this definitely sounds like a page out of their playbook. Freemason Haitian barbecue. Let's check out this video here.
A Freemasonic cannibal gang leader? Was that in your 2024 bingo card? Haitian gang leader and alleged cannibal Jimmy Cherizier, aka Barbecue, is making headlines as civil unrest breaks out in Haiti and cannibal gangs feast on their victims in the streets. Pictures of Jimmy are making rounds on social media where he's displaying Masonic symbolism.
Now come on, family. Who walks around wearing a huge Freemasonic necklace? And you're seeing all these pictures of him with this Freemasonic, this Masonic square and compass, the G, the square and compass, which is, we know, the symbol for Masonry, Freemasonry. Like, this guy's a straight up actor. Okay? This guy's a straight up actor. He's being used as a Osama bin Laden type figure, boogeyman, is running around barbecuing and cannibalizing. But now, because of this destabilization, guess who's now coming into the country of Haiti? You got it. American troops now coming into Haiti. That's how you get troops on the ground. You destabilize the country, then get the country to beg for help. And here come the American troops to save the day. It's called an invasion. It's what you call an invasion. Okay, so we had to pay attention to the troops on the ground. We start seeing troops coming in. They have to have the problem reaction solution. They have to have the Hegelian to justify when the troops show up. Okay, now once the troops are there, all bets are off. So they needed troops in Haiti. They destabilized it through the earthquakes, through all the political and plagues they've been sending through there, getting their people in position in place. And now here come the American troops to finish it off. Okay, let's keep going here.
The streets. Pictures of Jimmy are making rounds on social media where he's displaying Masonic symbolism. Haiti and Freemasonic revolutionaries are not uncommon. Haiti's founding fathers and early political figures were either rumored or confirmed Freemasons. Francois Dominique Toussaint Louverture, former slave who led the revolutionary forces against the French, he himself reputed to have been a devout Freemason. Historians base this assumption on a Masonic symbol he used in his signature. The membership of several of his close associates were, however, confirmed. In fact, some sources claim that Masonry was so integral to Haitian culture and leadership that any president of the country who was not a Mason prior to office was ordained on the occasion of their election.
All what we've been talking about here in recent broadcasts, going into the history of these Freemasons, their blueprint, their playbook, their cards, their plans of total world destruction and domination under their god of the Freemasonic religion, Lucifer, the light bearer, right? So all the receipts always get pulled and confirmed. Just give it time, right? Just wait for it, family. And in due time, it will be confirmed. So we have this here. America is in serious trouble. Illegal immigrant Haitian gang members coming to a state near you. So it doesn't just stop in Haiti. Okay, now we talking about these migrants. We're going to talk about them too. Now you got these Haitian gang members spilling over out of Haiti into the U.S. now. Okay, we talked about the Dead City, the new Walking Dead TV series that just came out end of last year. Okay, with the zombies. And we're seeing cannibalism. Okay, we're seeing America being brought down to the level of a third world country with these migrants here, totally destroying this country. Well, now here come the Haitian gangs, your voodoo gang members, your voodoo priests. Let's hear this. This woman here, she has something to say about this. Haitian gang members coming to a state near you.
So if you didn't think we already had a border problem, let me tell you a news story. So a lot of people don't know this, but there are Haitians that come over on boats and they come into Florida. Well, Governor DeSantis augmented some of the Air National Guard helicopters to help intercept these boats to send grid coordinates to the Coast Guard so they could repatriate them at sea, which means get them on the Coast Guard cutters and take them back to Haiti before they hit dry land. Well, there were 4,000 people, gang members in the Port-au-Prince jail who are now released and free due to a jailbreak because a bunch of gang members fought a days-long battle with 1,000 of the police that Kenya actually loaned to Haiti to help them out. So now 4,000 of them are jailbroke. Where do you think they're coming? They're coming here. All the criminals have been coming here. It's a disaster. Oh, and get this. Most of these gang members were in prison for assassinating the Haitian president, Jovenel Moise, in 2021. They assassinated their own president, and that's why most of these people that just jailbroke were in jail.
So if you all remember, and I just mentioned it a second ago, this in 2021, the Haitian president was assassinated by these mercenaries, these gang members. So these are the same people who were jailed, who now are being released from prison to come to the United States. And if you look at all of these migrants coming over, it's the worst of their society. All of their prisoners are being dumped in here. All their prisoners are being dumped in here. And this is why you see stuff like this happening. Illegal immigrants breaking into home in Dayton, Ohio. You are not safe in Joe Biden's America. Neighbor resident who filmed this said they came up with no vehicle and they do not live there. Just wait until the government cuts off aid to illegals and they have no way of supporting themselves. Things will get very ugly in America fast. Crime will skyrocket. Okay, and I'm about to pull something else up at the end of this too to show you all. It goes right in line with all this. Look at this. Migrants breaking into homes, taking over homes.
Some Spanish or whatever. There you go. Opened right up for him.
Protected by the government. You can't even defend yourself against these people, or it's a serious crime.
The house was for sale, or it was Dayton, Ohio.
This is just one of many stories, family. There's many. There's too many for me to show here. Let me pull something up here real quick to go along with this. I had to make sure that I sent this to Bishop GOCC in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to show you all this here. Okay, pay very close attention, family, to what's going on right now. It is crazy out here. Okay. Check this out. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, crime is about to explode. Police officers will no longer respond to phone calls regarding theft, harassment, criminal mischief, and burglary alarms between 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. In a nutshell, the purge will be allowed between 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. There will be no officers at the 6 stations throughout the city, and will only be 20 on-duty officers to cover the entire city. They are already dealing with staffing shortages. These calls will now be taken by a telephone reporting unit to file police reports over the phone. Buy protection now.
Rick, what was the big takeaway today?
Yeah, Susan, residents of the city will see a major change in the way police respond. They will no longer respond to calls that aren't considered in-progress emergency. That means calls like criminal mischief, theft, harassment, and most burglary alarms will all be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means residents will file a police report over the phone. Officers will not respond unless it's an emergency. Also, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will be no officers at any of the 6 stations throughout the city. Call boxes that link directly to 911 have been installed for people to use in case of an emergency. And during the overnight shift, there will be as few as 20 officers to cover the entire city. The chief said today the data supports that.
Yes, it's enough to cover the entire city in those hours when we have 8% of the time people are calling. I'm confident in the decisions that we make that it impacts this bureau and the city in a much better way than we have in the past.
Now, the chief also acknowledging today that some of these changes are due to staffing shortages. He's down to 740 officers, well below the 850 they would like to have. Now, coming up new at 5, residents, city council, and the police union all weighing in on these big changes that begin Monday. Live in the studio, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
So, worker shortages, people being laid off, right? Migrants being hired now in place of Americans. That was another thing I wanted to speak about, is now these companies are hiring migrants. I can't remember who I sent that information to. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where you have these companies hiring migrants now. Let's see. Pull it up here. When you go through here, and sorry I didn't have this ready before, but just when you look at just doing a search here, it says Tyson Foods will hire 52,000 illegal migrants after massive layoffs of American workers trying to feed their families and pay their bills. Tyson top exec says newly arrived migrants are more loyal than U.S. employees who have worked for them for years. So they're telling you that employees that have worked for Tyson Foods for years aren't as loyal as the migrants coming over. So we're seeing the great replacement, family. All right. These migrants are coming over and taking over. Then American people are about to become non-existent. And this is before the final judgment on Babylon. And it's not just Tyson Foods. I saw a list. I can't remember where I saw it at, but it had a list of many, many, many different companies. Many companies. I mean, it was like 3 dozen companies that are all doing this. Not just Tyson Foods. So maybe I'll find that and bring that up next time. But yeah, I want you all to see what's going on right now. And how is this going to affect our reality with all this? I mean, this is like what we see in these movies and TV shows they've shown us. Escape from New York, Escape from LA. All these movies and TV shows they've shown us. The Walking Dead. It's all starting to come together. And last but not least, we're going to conclude here for this evening's news, latest news. I want people not to get caught up in this deception. I know you probably have seen this. A massive altar for the red heifer sacrifice has been constructed in Israel. Okay. And I want people not to get caught up in this Rockefeller deception. Right. We talked about the Rockefellers and how they are over your theologian seminary schools. So there's a doctrine that comes out of these colleges, of these Rockefeller funded Christian teachers, theologians, and one of the doctrines is the Antichrist and the rapture doctrine. So within that, you have this red heifer sacrifice doctrine that Israel is going to sacrifice this red cow, which is going to issue in the third temple and the Antichrist. It's nowhere in Scripture. This is nowhere in Scripture, but because Christians don't read their Bible, this is going to continue Christians down the delusion, the strong delusion of a rapture, of an Antichrist. Okay. You know, these being God's chosen people, a third temple, all this madness, there's nowhere in Scripture, and it's setting itself up the stage for what Serge Monas said would happen in 2025. In 1980, he said in 2025 there was going to be the Project Bluebeam, and it was going to be a fake rapture. A fake UFO invasion and rapture where you would see whatever religion you worship, that particular deity appear in the sky. And you believe that, you know, according to your Rockefeller and Roman Catholic Vatican religion, whatever religion you got that comes from the great whore, you're going to believe that doctrine and be deceived. Take heed that no man deceive you. All right. So much going on. You know, I haven't even had a chance to catch up and since Passover, the news that's happened this week, what's going on really with the news this week. But this is some news from recent weeks that very, very big news. I said, let me come on and go over this news. And so next week, we'll look to do the same thing. Go through the news, being that there's so much happening and going on right now, so much we're preparing for, so much we're trying to put in place. And so it leaves very little time to, you know, put together some of the lessons we put together in the past. But we will pick back up, most high willing. Don't worry about it. Just got to let some things catch up. Mainly time, catch up. And we'll try to pick back up where we left off last with talking about, you know, the connection with Judaism, Freemasonry, Christianity, and Amalek, all that. With our last live stream being the living in the age of worshiping man above God. Okay, we'll pick back up. Okay, but I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for everything. Seeing y'all at the Passover was a blessing. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for participating this evening. We went a little bit longer than expected. You will get these news articles soon. Within the next 24 hours, I'll have these up here where you can come in and get these articles for your own viewing. And hey, it is going down in Babylon and in the world. So I pray you brothers and sisters have a blessed rest of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, that you're getting your hearts, minds, and spirits ready for the times we're in and to come. Until next time here on Friday Night Sabbath, coming out of Babylon for the Gathering of Christ Church, I want to say Shabbat Shalom, AHAYAH Speed, and AHAYAH Bless.